And good evening. Welcome once again to the EriDan Film Festival. Dan Rosenberg on an assignment. No, we have no idea. Dan is flying halfway across the world and will be joining us in the the chat room. And so, you can join us there too. It's the movie show. We talk about movies and TV, and it is the holiday season is upon us. So we are happy to be watching nothing but holiday movies for the whole month of December. And so we hope you can join us tonight. I get to push all the buttons tonight because Dan's no help at all. So I'm going to be pushing some buttons. And if you want to join us live here on the air, you could head over to EriDan XYZ. And we'll bring you in. And if you don't want to join us, you can make some comments in the chat and tell us what you think of the movies that we're watching tonight. Dan is sorry. Yeah. So there we go. There's Dan, ready to go live from 37,000 feet. And sorry, Dan is not here. So, and I know, some people just watch for Dan. I understand. It's okay. We're going to get through this together. We're all going to hold hands and, we'll make it through this show without Dan. Speaking of holding hands. Look how sweet. You're getting yourself through this night with this Danless evening.
Exactly.
I know it's rough. It's hard.
It is.
It's hard, but we're gonna figure it out one way or another. How are things with Wade and Stacy?
Okay.
Yeah. You're okay? You're good? You feeling the holiday spirit? Have you gotten caught up in Christmas magic?
No.
Put lights up outside.
Yeah.
So. There you go. That's something. You're spreading some cheer.
Yeah, we're not decorating inside yet because we're leaving.
Oh.
So, and we don't want to leave the cats. We don't want the cats to be destroying things while we're gone.
No, you don't want that.
No.
Speaking of destroying things.
I'm sorry, Dave. This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
Dave?
I don't know if you saw Scott's message. He's having trouble getting in.
Oh, Scott always has trouble.
I know. He needs IT help.
He does.
Scott needs something. I don't know what Scott needs, but I don't know if
Well, your budget must be really high if you're sending Dan out on remotes now.
I know. We're going to need the name of a good therapist for Scott. All right, we'll try that link there, Scott. We throw a link in the chat for Scott, and we're going to bring in Brian. Oh my goodness, Brian is not there. He is.
Sorry about that. I was trying to give him my IT help, but I couldn't type it in fast enough.
I've seen you for quite a while, Brian. It's a pleasure to have you back.
I'm glad to be back.
Spider-Man shirt on and everything. He is ready to rock.
I do, yeah. Yeah. I love Spider-Man.
Nice.
We know.
We all love Spider-Man, don't we?
True.
Who doesn't love Spider-Man?
Speaking of
there are some people. I don't know why though.
Speaking of not loving Spider-Man.
That's Scott? Yes, it's Scott.
It's Scott. As a baby. He'll grow. Bring Scott back.
What?
I see this as an absolute win.
Look at that. You can't even see Scott. His name is so long tonight. You can't even see Scott's mouth.
Wait, wasn't that one of the characters in the Star Wars holiday special?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I thought that was, Scott. That you were just mad.
He's just being bleeped out.
It's literally how I feel. Gosh darn it, what is wrong?
Are you feeling better, Scott?
Define feeling better.
Like, you're not.
Are you feeling better than you did last week at this time?
Cold wise, yes. You could say I'm hot right now. Wow.
Are your feelings relative?
Goodness. Oh yeah, and you're right. Fuck Spider-Man.
Oh,
fuck you, Brian.
Oh, wow.
Where's the beeper?
Serious now.
Right here. Spider-Man.
Just a quick aside. Adam Sandler was on Conan telling a story about when he was a young guy on Saturday Night Live and Michael Keaton was hosting. And most of the cast and Michael Keaton all went out to dinner. And the bill came and Michael Keaton was saying, I'll cover this. And they're all going, no, the show will cover it. You don't have to do this. No, I'll cover it. No, the show will do it. And he just turns to them and goes, I'm Batman.
He did that at a graduation ceremony, yeah.
Amanda says that only criminals don't like Spider-Man, and confirmed Scott is a criminal. There we go. And true.
Wow.
And complains that Brian is,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think Brian has been avoiding you, Dan, for all.
You never see them together at the same time. It's sort of like, Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Identity,
You never see me in the same place either.
No. I don't think I see you anywhere but here, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, he should have just done that. Peter Parker should have been a dick, and then no one would think he was Spider-Man. Like, wait a minute, he's very friendly. He's in my neighborhood.
You see how this works?
Yeah.
All right. Well, who are we starting? We're going to start with Scott's movie, I think.
Okay.
Because that was my recommended watching order for these two.
Well, we did it opposite.
Oh. Well,
So did we.
We'll discuss the ins and outs of that as we jump into Merry Christmas, because I don't speak French. And this is from 2005, PG-13. It's got some people in it. Most importantly, Zemo from Cinematic Universe, from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is in this. Written and directed by Christian Carrion. Budget of $22 million and a worldwide gross of $18 million. So they lost a little bit on this movie. Critics at a 74, audience at an 89. They love this movie. The people have spoken and love this movie. Critics not so much, and nobody ponied up some money for it. So Scott,
Well, 76 isn't bad from critics. Come on.
tell us why, Scott, that you chose this wonderfully classic tale of the wonderful truce from 1914.
Yes, well, the truce is actually what the cat's name was, so that was important.
Oh.
There's a few reasons why. Well, I was going to say Close Encounters of the Third Reich, but that's good too.
Well played, Scott. Well played.
Thank you. Well, that's what this movie is about. It is literally about the line. It's a fictionalized adaptation of the actual Christmas trees that happened, but with actually about 100,000 soldiers during 1914. So yeah, obviously not 100,000 people in this one, but still a good film. And it does really outline a lot of the possibilities of what happened. But I mean, we talk all the time about, okay, Christmas is definitely like, about the family stuff. And mostly that's lent itself to some very low fantasy kinds of moments at most. I think if you get much beyond that, like the Santa Claus, it just lingers on parody where you're like, okay, it's meaning of Christmas. Blah, blah, blah. But this is actually like, it's not only something that happens, but they do such a great job of trying to humanize everybody who could have been there. Now, that's to say that the three commanders and everybody else who is in this, they probably definitely existed. I haven't done enough research to know for sure, like if the German captain was Jewish. But again, it's 100,000 people. At its worst, it's a bunch of rich people saying, this is what the lower class felt like 100 years ago. And we're going to feel good about ourselves by giving awards and recognition to this movie. And at its best, holy mackerel, like what can you say? But yeah, music and Christmas bringing people together.
Right.
So I just think it's a great movie that everyone should see. And if it encourages people to actually delve into what actually happened and some of the stories, then so be it. Also, yeah, German soccer better than French soccer.
There you go. And so let me see. Amanda says, not sure how much of it just because she was sick, but you teared up so many times during this movie.
And I will also say that, I love a good Santa Claus movie. I love a good movie about the various modern Christmas tropes and all of that. If well done, they can be wonderful. Mm-hmm. But a movie about peace on earth, a movie about man showing some humanity to his fellow man, says far more about Christmas than any number of Santa Clauses to me.
Yeah, ditto.
Right.
Well, no, I'll agree with that to an extent.
I mean, I have criticisms of the movie. Don't get me wrong, and I'll get to them.
Me
but-
too.
I mean, obviously, the historical data about this situation is overwhelmingly awesome. The actual event is amazing, and I'm trying to remember what movie it was before where they were, it was a fictionalized version of a real event where I'm like, oh, the event was awesome. The movie was so-so. This movie is more than so-so. I will say that it is really well done. It is not what I'm looking for in a Christmas movie, though. Like this will not be on my must-watch list,
Right?
For holiday cheer and enjoy.
So I think the biggest problem with this movie is that while it does have really sweet and tender moments, most of them can be summarized under one banner. One person does music to the other person, and they're like, oh, okay. So like you have the music, you have whether it's the opera singer singing to whoever's in front of her, the two opera singers, you have the exchange between the Scotsman and the German opera singer in the middle of the movie that kind of sets everything off, or you have the ending sequence, which I'm not going to spoil, but everyone knows what I'm talking about. It's basically, I feel like you could say it's a movie a lot about music as it is about Christmas, and that's the thing.
Well, they did the almost impossible. They made bagpipes almost listenable.
Right? Exactly.
And I kind of doubt a bunch of those were laying around in the trenches too.
It's true, and we're actually still fitting together.
Right.
I think this would have been an incredible play. Like, can you imagine like a reenactment of this, like how we do?
Well, it was made into a Pulitzer-winning play.
You don't say.
Yeah, if you go to Wikipedia, there is someone who wrote a play based on this movie, and it won the Pulitzer Prize.
Wow,
that's the first time I've ever heard of that happening. Wow. It's like writing a Pulitzer-winning play based on Lawrence of Arabia.
That's what I recall reading. I could be misremembering, but.
Wow.
And this did get a Academy Award nomination for Best Foreign Film.
Right? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Totally justified.
So not voting for the Academy would be Adam saying this movie was slow, boring, depressing, and contrived.
Adam, it had one sex scene. I thought that would really win. I'm apologizing that it didn't. That's my fault.
And then on the flip side, Rebecca says, I'm glad I watched this movie, and I would recommend it to others. So
it actually was an opera that was derived from this. Yes.
An opera.
Makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, it took me out of the movie so much that the voices of the soprano and the tenor were provided by somebody else. The lip syncing was so unbelievably.
It wasn't so much they were provided by somebody else. It was not great lip syncing.
It was not well done. But none of the times that they sang felt real at all. It wasn't even a question like, oh, I wonder if that's not their voice. It's like, what?
Why wasn't this in Inglourious Bastards?
My foot! It just yanked me right out of the movie.
I agree with that. And what yanked me out too is what was she doing in the trenches? Did that really happen?
No, that did not really happen. From what I read, that part was fiction.
And it was really noticeable fiction.
Yeah,
because
they would have never sent her there.
Spend the night in the trench.
Never.
Baloney.
Yeah.
I was mad.
There were a few times when, in trying to make their point, they went over the top. That was one of them.
That seemed very much like a Mary Jane fan fiction. Like, took a girl in there.
I had sex with my opera boyfriend, and then we went off to the trenches.
This way.
I lost her picture, so I drew a picture of her.
Oh, wait, is this your wallet?
What a winkadink.
My only complaint...
Enjoyed how it switched between the different perspectives, though I think a little more time spent with some of the main characters pre-war would have helped with some of them. And I will say...
Also, the transitions were too abrupt.
Yeah.
It took me a couple seconds to realize, oh, wait, we just switched from the Germans to the French.
Yeah.
They needed a better way to sort of transition from one perspective to the other.
It probably wasn't until an hour in the movie until I really understood who everybody was.
Right.
And still, I can't tell you anybody's name.
No.
Right? Like, nothing really felt like if anybody could have died and it wouldn't have been like that upsetting.
Well, precisely.
Do I
It
care?
was hat and as Amanda said, it was hat and language recognition.
Yes.
Wait, that's French. Okay, I know who this is.
Yeah.
And you could tell it was early on in the war because the French actually later adapted to brownish, grayish uniforms because the uniforms were so freaking blue that the Germans could spot them miles away and just kill them. It's true.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think that one thing that would have definitely helped this movie if it was going to have a very minimal score was actually have a very, very defined cinematic style. There are probably 3 great shots in this movie. There's a shot of all of them switching bunkers, that beautiful wide shot. There's the ending shot. And then I think maybe that transition between the German couple in their room to their clothes on the floor, like a very still shot. And cinematography wise, like I wasn't really a fan of the voyeuristic stuff. This was actually a throwback. It felt like it should have been more of a cinematic throwback to how movies were shot in the 60s, those David Lean style movies, where you shoot everybody from the waist up and you make it presentable like a play because it doesn't sell it as hard as trying to be as real as possible, and because they clearly took a lot of liberties with this.
Yeah.
Very intentionally. Like a Jewish German captain.
Yeah,
what a coincidence.
I also felt that it would have been more effective if the lead up to the armistice or the lead up to the truce had been longer to sort of build the tension to it. It happened a little too soon in the film for me.
Absolutely.
Like 2/3 of the film was basically
yeah.
them interacting after they laid down their guns, essentially. And I think that would have been better if it were more concentrated in the last third of the movie.
I agree.
It's about halfway through the movie you get to the truce on Christmas Eve.
And it just felt a little soon to me.
Yeah.
The most interesting character in the whole movie is the Scottish boy who loses his brother.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
Well, he's certainly the least one-dimensional character. Yeah.
Absolutely. Everyone else is like, I don't want to fight. I want Christmas.
Even the priest who hangs up his cross and all of that. You know, it's another criticism, and again, I like the movie, but
Me too.
It's what you do. I think again where they were heavy-handed was the evil overpriest or bishop or whatever his role was so one-dimensional that it sort of took me out of it because we need a villain. Here's our villain, and it was heavy-handed.
And the commanding officers are all dicks.
Yes.
Like, we want a war.
The one that was the father was a little bit nuanced. He clearly was a little... He clearly had some conflict, like saying, this isn't my war. I was a cavalryman. I don't understand this war. He at least...
The more I'm thinking about what they were really trying to do, I think, or if they weren't, they definitely should have, was do something like Titanic, where there were a bunch of horrible things that happened to real people.
Right.
And this is like, but you actually see like the bookends or even just a clip of who these people were.
Right.
I think probably the biggest problem is that they didn't have a very defined, small, tight cast of characters where they had room for all these other characters to come in. And like everyone remembers that old couple that listened to the opera singer in France, right? Come here, these artists come in here. We had this house for 300 years. And then just kind of them listening in the back room holding hands. That did so freaking much in so minimal of effort. And I think that's what's so frustrating about this movie is that it's good and it's so close to having everything.
There's a better movie in there that wasn't quite made.
Exactly. That's kind of how I feel about most Marvel movies nowadays.
And I also, I thought that another example of that was when the guy dies right after telling him the name of his son. It's like, God. Oh, come on.
For fuck's sake.
That was so heavy-handed that it was just
just a little bit.
Yeah,
it would go along. I'd have 10 minutes of really, really being moved by the movie, and then I'd have one of those, and I'd go, "Oh, come on."
Yeah, and ironically, the best shot part of the movie was the first 10 minutes. That montage is fantastic.
The kids, that was really well done.
Really well done, without saying a word. Again, that's what this movie needed: silent, visual.
Or even after the silent montage, when the kids were reciting their poetry at the front of the classes, and you got the 3 different perspectives. Yeah. That was very well done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
100%. Merry Christmas, kill the bad guys. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. It reminded me of South Pacific. You've got to be told before it's too late, before you were 6 or 7 or 8. That's exactly what that was. This was people indoctrinating these kids into hating those that were on the other side.
And for a lot of us here, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, just that generation of people that came and would eventually be fighting in World War II, even.
I said my mom's parents came over between the wars, if I'm remembering the timing correctly, and to the day she died, my grandmother never said she was from Germany. Although if you look at where she came from, she was Austrian. They always said they were Austrian because you did not want to identify as German.
Yeah. No, my grandfather was German. He's a potato farmer, and then my other grandmother was Scottish. Like you had to be very careful.
Are you at war with yourself?
All the time. You have no idea.
The internal conflicts.
Yes.
I enjoyed the cat quite a bit.
Me too.
And I thought the casting was good too, other than the fact that they had people dubbing their singing voices. But being able to find operatic singers like that who could also act is a tough call.
Totally.
All right, Dan is nudging us forward.
We have 2 movies
into the scoring. So let's do that, shall we? And there he is.
I get to speak first. All right. So again, I think we can all agree this is not a terrible movie. There was clearly a lot of thought put into it. It is well designed in terms of its costumes and its set. You actually do feel like you're there, considering it's trying to represent hundreds of thousands of men. It's actually really well done in that regard. And again, from start to finish, it's a story that works. They didn't leave any plot holes open. What it gets wrong, and hopefully this opera I keep hearing about fixes, is that it seems a bit fabricated and intentional at the right moments. I think it needed better cinematography. I honestly feel like it needed a better director, someone who actually was a fan of those war movies and wasn't just leaning into its setting and its story to tell and carry the weight around. If it had a very well-defined visual style, I feel like so much of this would have been easier to do, recognizing people, the jumping back and forth between trenches. With that said, again, it's not a terrible movie. Probably not in my top 5 Christmas movies, but definitely in my top 10. I'll probably give it an 86.
86. All right, and let's head over to Dave.
Ooh. Yeah, it was a solid movie, and I'm glad I watched it. I appreciate you bringing it up, Scott. It was the flaws took me out of it, but they certainly didn't ruin it. And the opera, from what I read on Wikipedia, it was based on the screenplay that was made into the movie. So they were based on the same screenplay. It sort of reminded me, weirdly enough, of an old joke of George Carlin's, where he talks about how he almost never met a person one-on-one he didn't like, and he almost never met people in groups that he did like, or however he phrased it. I can't remember. He obviously phrased it better than I did, but
I remember what it is. You can see the individuality leave their eyes when they join in groups. That's what he says. Yeah.
And that's what war is to some degree. It's dehumanizing the other side so that you can get people to kill them. And to not just kill them, but slaughter and kill innocents and kill men, women, and children who weren't even in the service. The whole thing about the priests going, are they God's children who hide behind women and children as shields and things like that? That's what happens, sadly, and it still happens today. The flaws were frustrating because, again, there could have been a better movie, but I still enjoyed it. It's an 82 for me.
82. All right. And let's head over to Stacey and Wade.
I'm going to agree with Dave with the score. I'm giving it an 82. There were just a lot of things about it that brought that score down for me that Scott's mentioned. And it really was depressing in a lot of ways because it's war. So I agree with Adam on that, but it was a beautiful story though. If it really happened in any way, shape or form, and the thing that got me was thinking, okay, so they're on a truce. What happens tomorrow?
Mhm.
And I just couldn't even. I didn't want to go there, and I'm sure I know they didn't in real life. So that was just the thing that I just kept thinking about is tomorrow. Tomorrow, you've made friends with these people, or have some respect for them or something, and you see them as humans. Now what? So that was really a hard part of watching this film.
Mhm.
So definitely an 82.
All
Well, the
right.
one comment that the German commander made, where he said, "If you had been replaced, I wouldn't be warning your replacement."
Oh wow.
Glasses. I would be wanting your replacement.
So yeah, I mean, I've known. I mean, I knew about the truce in 1914, and seeing it in the movie, it was portrayed pretty well. The interesting thing about it is that World War II was like the first Great War where you had so many different countries fighting against each other, and Christmas Eve they're actually able to have a truce. And then from that point on, it was just a meat grinder throughout the 20th century, basically. So it was that kind of loss of innocence, I guess you would say, at that point, even though there was wars before that. A little more civilized, I guess. But I think it was pretty well done, and it wasn't hard to follow who was who at the very beginning when they were out in the trenches. But eventually that came around, and I'm gonna give it an 80.
80. All right.
80.
One of the comments in the Wikipedia article about the real Christmas truce is that in subsequent years, the Allied commanders required them to shell all day on Christmas Eve just to avoid a repeat of that kind of fraternization.
That makes sense. That's a sad thing.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Brian. First time since the beginning of September.
Jeez, Brian.
Sure.
I know. Yeah. So I didn't watch this one. I'm sorry. I read about it and I thought,
That's all right. You should give it a watch, I would say.
Yeah.
no, it was just I just didn't think I had the emotional capacity to watch it because I knew that it'd make me cry, so I just couldn't do it. Not right now.
Spiders.
Might have been the right choice. That might have been the right.
Yeah, I had the last couple months, so I chose not to because of that.
That's more than fair. All right, we've got some comments. Brittany texted offline, gave it a 94.
Wow.
Wow.
How about that?
All right.
Dan, let me see, where's Dan's comment at? I gotta go back to Dan. Well written, directed, acted, not my cup of tea. Dan doesn't like movies that are well written and well directed.
It's because there was a Jewish captain. That's fine.
Amanda says she loved the perspectives from the different factions, historical text, especially in the war as brutal as World War I found the portrayal of the humanity across the nations and the power of the music across cultures really moving. I have some nitpicks, but really, I love this movie. She gives it a 90.
Wow.
There's so much love happening here. Rebecca, high quality movie. I'm going to go right in between the audience score and the critics score at an 81 from Rebecca. And Susan, Dan's mom, I watched on YouTube and they threw in commercials suddenly and loud. So that's my opinion of the movie.
No, those were actually part of the movie.
Susan, download AdBlock as a plugin. Dan can help you with that. You will skip all your YouTube ads after that.
There you go. But you like the story. So she gives it a 79.
AdBlock.
Thank you.
Excellent. Oh, now I feel like I get to be harsh, but I have a feeling I'm going to do better than Adam. I agree with everything that everybody said, but this is also not my cup of tea. So I mean, outside of, I don't know how many of you have spent a lot of time in the cinematic universe to watch Zemo's character. That people have put together the most wonderful mashups of Zemo dancing.
Gosh darn it, I knew he looked familiar. Gosh darn it.
So for that, I gave it an extra 2 points. Oh, I'm actually gonna watch a movie with him in it where he's not dancing.
Extra 2 points for killing my family.
Fantastic killer dancing. So that's the 72 from me. And we have not heard from Adam yet.
I thought he posted his.
Did he post his?
Yeah,
no, I'm sorry, he didn't.
Just this.
Yeah, he didn't. I didn't give a score yet.
Listen, so we're gonna see how many cats does Adam give?
How many cats are in the movie?
Oh.
I was afraid that cat was going to die, and I was going to be ticked.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, in real life, that's what happened.
Shush, Dave.
Yes. Yeah, actually, I did read that, Dave. Go ahead, tell.
Yeah.
But the cat.
No, they were required because he came in with a different collar and a note, and the guy was sort of required by regulations to if he took regulations at face value, he's a traitor or a spy, so you killed the cat.
Hi. There you go. All right, here it comes, everybody. Why on earth would anybody watch this movie during the holidays?
Right.
Me, it's probably the worst holiday movies I've ever seen. I'd rather watch Mixed Nuts again. Wow.
See, and I agree. Why would you want to watch? This is not a holiday movie. It's about a holiday. So it's not a celebration, exciting.
It is. It's a celebration of humanity.
It is, but I agree with Adam in that respect that it's not something I would want to watch at Christmas time. It's not a feel-good movie, in my opinion.
All right.
So
well, there you go.
it's
Well, let's talk
depressing.
about what might be a feel-good movie, shall we? A palate cleanser? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
It's
Let's go from the filet mignon to the Safeway cupcake. Why not?
It's a year without a Santa Claus. Shirley Booth, Mickey Rooney, Dick John, George S. Irving, all these lovely people. Directed by Bass and Racken and Bass. Thank you. Who knows what the budget is? Who knows? There's no money. It was television. Critics at a 90, audience 83. Amanda's in the comments. Maybe she'll get a chance. Here's a minor tonal shift in our movies as we head over to the Miser.
Can you imagine bagpipes playing some of these songs?
Oh.
You know, I will say half of these songs are awesome. And then there's like a couple that are like, yeah. Okay, let's get through this one.
Why? You're not a big fan of Snow and Dixie?
There's problems. not a perfect movie. But honestly, for me, Mickey Rooney will always be the voice of Santa Claus. There's at least 5 of these types of movies where he does the voice.
Yeah.
So he's largely affected my perception of at least a stop motion animation Santa Claus should sound like.
And not a Japanese Santa Claus at that.
Yeah.
Or
So
Korean.
I'm assuming this was nobody's first time watching Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Maybe it was.
That's not the movie. It's
The Year Without a Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Not top tier. Adam did not have a good week this week with these movies. He did not enjoy that.
Adam's all about Rudolph's Shiny New Year.
He really, maybe. Yeah, I don't know what he does consider top tier. Maybe he'll choose one of those as one of his.
Tell you what, Adam, if you like international Christmas movies so much, I got a real stinker for you next time I get picked.
Oh boy.
Next year, Scott. Remember.
Oh, no one's going to be happy about this.
You just wait. You just wait.
Time bomb.
I do feel like Mrs. Claus kind of responsible for a big mess. She tries to manipulate Santa, and then she manipulates the elves, and it's like, that's not very
She
nice.
sends them off on a baby deer for some reason.
For some reason, she's just like, oh, you guys are going to go. And they're like, what? We're going? And they're like, oh, yeah, you're going. And then she's like, oh, I worry
One thing I had not noticed till this viewing of all things was, okay, she sings that whole song about anyone can be Santa. She has this whole song about it. And then all it takes is Jingle or Jangle, I can't remember which one it is, saying, it's Mrs. Claus. One of the people she knows best in the world was able to recognize her and say, oh, just give up on the whole idea. No, okay, that'll never work.
That didn't work. Forget it. Now I'm going to set you guys off for your death. See how you like that. Yeah.
Another thing that struck me that I hadn't really. Go ahead, Eric.
Oh, my kids pointed that out when we were watching it. They were like, "What?" They're like, just barely like, just because one person recognized you. Isn't that the point of anyone can be Santa Claus?
Well, and here's the thing: nobody's supposed to have seen Santa, so how would they know she wasn't a woman?
There we go. That brings up the exact same point. You know.
You know what I think is hilarious? How the Snow Miser role was obviously meant for Fred Astaire, and he clearly couldn't bring himself to do this movie.
Well, I hadn't realized it. It struck me this time. Maybe I'd noticed it before and didn't remember. There is very much a big brother, little brother feel to Snow Miser and Heat Miser.
Oh, yeah.
Snow Miser is the older brother who's successful and has his whole shtick that he's developed. And Heat Miser's the jealous younger brother who always feels like mom liked him best, and so he copied his song, he copied his whole motif, you know, and he doesn't even have quite as good a version of the song. The verses don't flow as well. It's just it's a little slower than the Snow Miser song.
Well, see, as a child, got that right away. That made sense in my house.
I can relate. I know exactly how he feels.
Yeah. And I loved their mom was Mother Nature. And when I was little watching this, and now I'm like, wow, how did I see that? Because that is not there. The chiffon commercials for chiffon butter, you can't mess with Mother Nature. I'm like, she looks exactly like her. She doesn't. Not at all. I thought it was the same lady doing her voice.
Well, and they stole that line in the movie, the bad movie that we'll discuss at some point, maybe. That one of the lines is something like, "It's not nice to fool Mother Nature," because they clearly were taking that from the commercial.
And that's why I thought that, of course, when I was little. I just was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. The lady from the commercial is in the movie. So I looked her up last night, or the other night. No, it was not.
I've never forgotten those songs from the Miser Brothers. Like,
I know.
I mean, this is
my whole life.
Movie. This is without the Miser Brothers. And honestly, my kids were commenting how the production value on the Miser Brothers songs are significantly better than all of the other songs.
They knew what the selling point was.
They knew what the hits were going to be.
Yeah,
really put the production value into them. I have to share a moment from the movie that actually just killed Slade.
Did you watch the movie?
Huh?
You watched the movie too?
No, the special, the one we're talking
about.
Okay. Not the live action movie, but we were watching the end of the movie with my kids. Absolutely, my kid's absolute favorite part comes at the very, very end of the movie. We're celebrating. We're excited because Santa is gonna come, and there's gonna be no year without a Santa Claus. But then, dramatically, at the end of the song, Santa looks to the camera.
Gifts loaded up on the sleigh. There'll be no year without a Santa Claus. I dreamed unhappy things.
Like, what? They're like, I dreamed unhappy dreams. It's like, oh my gosh, Santa really still has problems.
What is my life? I work one day a year that I just sit around doing nothing.
I know.
Am I dreaming?
Like, the song is so happy, and it's so happy, and he's just like a crazy person. Like, I dreamed unhappy dreams.
I am so happy it's back to normal.
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
Well, the thing we love. I don't know exactly where it was, but like the brothers come and Mother Nature was there, and then like she like does the lightning.
Yeah,
like we all laugh about here. Yeah.
Yep. And I remember watching it the year it came out, and because it was the new Rankin Bass special, so you sit down and watch it. And I was still I probably would have been 12 or 13 when it came out, something like that. And I remember vividly when the Snow Miser song came on, just being like, whoa, and how blown away I was by it. It just really jumped out.
I mean, they were huge. We were commenting this time, not realizing how big compared to Mrs. Claus Snow Miser and Heat Miser really were. They're like giants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they're nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're bigger than their mother, who is Mother Nature.
I just wonder who their father was. Or fathers.
Zeus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe they're half brothers, and that's why they're so different.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an icy hot patch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's huge.
Yeah.
For
That's just
sure.
his nose.
Yeah, he needs to blow that nose.
Now, we did watch A Very Miser Brother Christmas here, which was a
sequel of sorts.
Sequel-ish.
Yeah.
It's
the same voices though, isn't it? Isn't it Dick Shawn again? And I think it's the same misers.
Yeah, I mean it's got moments. It's not fantastic, but it's actually no, they did not.
They didn't get the same visors.
George S. Irving back, but they have somebody else doing Snow Miser. But George S. Irving was the original.
Well, Dick Shawn probably didn't. I don't think Dick Shawn lived a whole long lot after this, so he may have passed away.
Yeah.
But I do want to mention the casting though, because it's one thing that Rankin Bass did such a great job on, is getting Burl Ives for Rudolph, for example, Jimmy Durante for Frosty the Snowman. They got they had Fred Astaire do stuff. They had they had Shirley Booth and Mickey Rooney. I mean, they got some of these stars that were past their prime. They were up in years, probably retired from movie acting for the most part, but still capable of doing great voice work and such iconic voices.
It was the last thing that Shirley Booth did.
It was her last before she retired. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And it probably really helped bring people into it too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Dick Shawn, who's great in The Producers. So yeah.
Now, Adam's more of a Rudolph guy than a Miser Brother guy.
And
I have a sentimental spot for Rudolph, but the problem with Rudolph is Santa's a real jerk.
Yes, and I agree with that. And I think we talked about that last year.
Oh, is Blitzen's a big jerk too. They're all like,
yes, he is.
They're all mean, but that Santa is mean really hit home a few years ago when I showed it over and over again at different story times, and I'm like, whoa, I do not like this anymore. And
Santa is so shallow.
I was really angry, so I have to disagree with Adam on that one. It soft spot because Rudolph, yes, but as an adult that
there's
watched
some
it way
problems.
too many times,
It's definitely got some problems.
it does.
But they did so many iconic specials. It's amazing, it's really impressive.
Yep.
That was you had Rankin Bass, you had The Grinch, and you had Charlie Brown. That was Christmas. That was TV Christmas.
Yes.
But Sound of Music? Did you say Sound of Music?
No.
No, I didn't say Sound of Music. They also used to show The Wizard of Oz every year at Christmas time.
It was Easter.
Yeah.
I thought it was Easter. He's telling me Christmas too. I'm like, no, it was Easter.
No, it was Christmas.
My dad always made us watch Ben-Hur for Easter.
We watched The Robe and
oh my.
And The Quiet Man.
No.
Oh, I love The Quiet Man. Very misogynistic these days, but I love The Quiet Man.
Now we got a song in Adam's head.
To go back to the Rudolph thing, though, and I don't know if I mentioned this last year, but the original puppets from Rudolph were owned by a couple in Zelienople near here. Beaver County people will know that for a while, and now they had sold them and had them refurbished. So they're in a museum somewhere, but they were in Zelienople for a little bit.
Yep.
Well,
it was a classic animation style. It really was. I mean, it was basically armatured puppetry with interchangeable faces, so they could do it much more quickly than if they had to individually mold. Like Aardman individually molds the faces as he's doing the facial expressions, which takes a lot longer than what they do with these.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Flintstones Hanna-Barbera method with like the slides.
Yeah.
They're animating them talking. It's just with 3D.
But these are all fully armatured, fully clothed puppets, basically, that they then pose and animate.
Click.
And there was a 10% rise in kids named Ignatius. No, there wasn't.
Not Herbie?
There was definitely the birth of someone with a giant beard named Adam, who was a miser. I'm so mad at you, man.
The TV movie that they then aired back in 2005, 2006, whatever year it was. I did watch it. They clearly had decided the only thing that really matters is the Miser Brothers and their song.
Oh yes.
And they did sort of mostly kind of sort of ish follow the same plot, but they added a lot more Miser stuff in it just to try to pan that out and pat it out, and it was awful.
It's a Miser Brothers Christmas.
Yeah, I've read about it before, and I never watched it because it was basically
it's not unwatchable.
Bad reviews.
It's not unwatchable, but it's not good. It is not fun to watch. We were watching it, and 2/3 of the way through, I believe the comment Margaret made was, "I feel like I'm wasting my life watching this." So I watched the last half hour on my own later that night because we went and watched something else far more enjoyable, like C-SPAN. I don't know. It was.
Wow, I thought it was that not unwatchable is a rough standard. Yeah, I'm just saying. Like my kids, that was Kevin's Miser Brother movie growing up. Like the funniest thing, so we watched this towards the end of last week. I put on the 1974 version, and my youngest son, who is like 15, going to be 16, is like, I've never seen this before. And it's like, oh, you've seen this before. You know, he had no memory of it whatsoever. Watched it all the first time. Then I put on a Miser Brothers Christmas. He's like, this is the one I know. This is
okay.
It's like, oh wow. So you know. And Dan, of course, that's actually not a bad idea. Although I don't know how chill you're going to be after watching C-SPAN. All right. Well, we want to do it? Should we do it? We could probably rate this movie because there's other stuff to do. So let's go on ahead. Amanda's in the chat. I don't know if she wants to throw in some comments. And we'll get this ball rolling because we do have to pick one additional Christmas movie to go along with Brittany's choice. Brittany has sent me her choice, so I do have Brittany's choice. And I know you're all going to be so excited.
Oh no, she's doing it. She's doing it.
Is it Ernest Saves Christmas?
No.
She's not. She's not. Somebody else might get the chance this week to pick Die Hard. We'll see. All right. Well, we'll wait. We're not going to wait for Amanda. We're going to jump in and we're going to make Dave start.
Amanda just posted hers.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. All right, then I won't make you start.
Good job, Dave.
All right, here it goes. You love this movie. This was one of my top Christmas movies growing up, and I continue to love. Well, I have hope. I'm glad that you've continued to love. And 98. Fantastic score. Nice. Awesome. All right, now we'll go to Dave.
It's interesting because to me the core growing up, and so much of this depends on your age and how old you were when you were watching these or when they came out. The core Rankin Bass for me growing up was Rudolph, the Little Drummer Boy, and Frosty the Snowman. That was sort of the core of the Christmas Rankin Bass specials. This was one of the later ones. But among the later ones, this to me is by far the best, because a lot of the later ones don't hold up well at all. And I know there's those in my family who would disagree, but this is the one that I still enjoy watching amongst the later Rankin Bass stuff. It gets so much right. It's a great cast. It's a lot of fun. It's an original story. It's based on a book, apparently, which I've never read or seen. But it's just fun. I mean, there's not a deep meaning to it. There's some silliness, but the silliness is intentional and part of the fun of the story. The songs work for the most part, as Eric's right. Some of the songs you could cut 5 to 8 minutes out of this and have it be just as good, if not better.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to cut a lot, but the Snow and Dixie song is a waste. Yeah, there's a few other small bits, but I do love it. It's not a 98 for me, but it's in the 90s, so I give it a 93.
93. Oh, lovely score. All right, let's jump to Brian now, since now we haven't heard from Brian for a while. Let's hear Brian.
I love this movie. I watched it so many times when I was a kid. Yeah, I mean, everybody said everything, really. I'm going to give it a 92.
92. Wow, excellent. Fantastic. All right, let's hear from Scott.
Okay.
Oh boy, here he goes. He's digging in. This is not your chance to get your revenge on Adam's score.
No, he didn't pick this movie. I apologize. So, I actually grew up watching the Rudolph Rankin-Bass, and unfortunately, I have the whole darn thing memorized in my head. It is a curse I must live with. It is my cross for Christmas. I just never really got behind the animation. Oh my goodness. Like for me, animation is just an incredible way of storytelling. I mean, it usually goes for me like, Ghibli / Disney, Pixar, Illumination, and
Aardman.
this feels like saying that Illumination would try to adapt into one of its bad Dr. Seuss movies. So I feel where the heart is coming from. It's not really my kind of movie. So I would probably say I hope Wallace and Gromit does a Christmas special someday, and I'm gonna give this like a 69.
Oh my.
Well, they did do the California Raisins Christmas special.
That is true.
That is
Yeah.
true. All right, see if you can bring us back here.
Your Cat's Redemption?
And gives it an 82. So there you go.
Well, it is dated because it's from 1974, so it's years younger than I am. This is 100 for me.
Whoa!
This is my favorite. It's
Nice. Is this your first 100 ever? I think this might be.
I don't know.
I'm checking. Oh no, Pirates of the Caribbean. You
Yeah. I thought there was another one.
That's all right. That's still really wow. Awesome. All right, Wade, beat that. You can't.
Well, I'm going to bring her down a little bit. I'm going to go 85.
85. Oh,
what a heat miser look you just gave him.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I like it, Dave. Maybe I'm related.
Yeah.
Wow. So cool. No, I'm kidding. All right, excellent. So let me see. That would leave me, I guess. Let me find the right button. Hey, there I am. There we go. It's not my favorite, but it's so good. And it's so digestible because it is not 2 hours long.
Right.
So I mean, like including this in a yearly Christmas much watch list just seems like a no-brainer because it is really enjoyable. There are times where it's like, okay, I can leave during this song.
Right, exactly. I agree with that.
Fine. No big deal. So I'm with Wade. I'm going to be at an 85. And Adam coming in with 33 cats. And let me see. All right.
There were two things I noticed this time that I had never noticed before while watching it. One was, and I probably noticed this and don't remember, there's when Heat Miser comes on the phone and he goes, "Well, speak of the devil," which, given how Heat Miser looks, with the hair and the flame and everything, that's a great throwaway line.
And it really, but to me as a little kid, it was not a throwaway line. It was creepy, scary. That was scary.
And the other one is, I only saw this because we were fast forwarding through and I paused at a weird spot. There's one of the scenes in Southtown where I think it's maybe during Snow and Dixie when the mayor's outside. Charlie Chaplin is standing on the sidewalk.
Yes, I saw that. It's unmistakable. Of course, my kids were like, "Hey, that guy has a Hitler mustache."
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, we have to watch The Great Dictator sometime.
Now I got to watch that again. And it's fine. I've never seen Charlie Chaplin in that. That's pretty funny.
Might be too boring for Adam.
I was not prepared. All right, let's see.
I think he's even spinning his cane, if I remember correctly.
I might be able to pull that up here. Let me see if I can. No.
I searched.
I can grab that later. I'll grab that before the show is over, and we'll take a look at that. And
right, exactly.
What? Yeah, no, it is real. It is actually there. And it was quite surprising. So I have not heard from Susan or Brittany, so I don't have final scores yet. But
There you go.
we can. What can we do? We can spin the wheel, I guess. That's probably a good idea. There's probably some people who have some ideas of what they might want to choose for a holiday movie. I've just got to remind myself of everybody who needs to be on this wheel. So I'm going to make a new wheel because that's what I do sometimes. As we, I don't even have the holiday jingle lined up. This is terrible. We'll do this. All right. Hey, we're back. All right. So obviously, everybody except Scott and Amanda has the option. We never heard from Rebecca either. I don't know if Rebecca got a chance to watch this or not, or if she's abandoned us. So I'm throwing a wheel together here because I'm so prepared for tonight's holiday festivities. And let me see. Oh, we did get. There we go. Dan and I were 4 when this movie came out, and it's a cute movie, and so Susan gives it what did she give it? An 80. There we go. All right, we're gonna get this
movie should get
here. Look at that. I've got way too many tabs open. There we go. All right. So who did I forget? We got to get Susan on this wheel, and we got to get. I don't know if Rebecca's around or not. Is Rebecca gone? Did she leave? I don't know. If you don't see your name and you want to be on the wheel, yell and scream. This is your moment. So we're going to have you pick one holiday movie. Yeah, I think we're ready. We're ready? Everybody ready? You guys sound ready. The silence is deafening. Let me shuffle. Oh, I over shuffled. And there we go. Let's spin it. And let's see who gets to pick our second holiday movie for next week. That honor goes to Stacy. Yeah, there it is.
You already took her all-time favorite.
That's true.
Why do you shake your head when you get picked, Stacy? It's an honor.
Yeah, it is an honor. It's because I'm like, crap, I'm not prepared.
It's pressure.
It is pressure.
That's the one.
Die Hard.
I was totally prepared. I thought about it.
Well,
before.
it's a double feature. You can come up.
Brian, Spidey sense doesn't count as prepared.
Spidey sense doesn't count as. Oh,
I know.
all right. I was totally prepared.
You're gonna get a chance next week, Brian. We'll make sure you're on the wheel for next week.
Yeah, we have 2 next week.
Our second choice.
Yes.
Stacy needs some time, I'm assuming.
Yep, we'll see what Brittany has chosen.
Oh, Rebecca, I'm sorry. Rebecca did say she wanted to be on the wheel. I'm so sorry, Rebecca.
Well, we can spin again.
Without your oh, you want to spin again?
Go ahead.
To maybe not have to pick.
Oh my God!
Oh, wow. Look at this excellent sportsmanship. This unbelievable display of sportsmanship from Stacy.
It's like a Christmas truce.
All right, I'm spinning it again. We'll see if it lands on Stacy again. All right, let's go.
And it was just fated to be.
It was. It could be. Let's find out. We got Rebecca on the wheel now.
Why am I on there twice?
Wheel now.
Why are you sponsored by Subaru?
I don't know. Somebody's got to.
Dave's on there twice.
Why am I on there twice?
You know what? I don't know how that happened. No, are you on there twice?
Yes.
We're on the side.
Yeah.
Spin it again.
Get picked.
Hold on. We got to spin it again. What happened? Oh, there you go. You are on there twice.
Is it
wait.
Dave?
No, I have no idea how that happened. All right, let's look this over. Everything looked good. Oh, that was supposed to be Dan. That second Dave was supposed to be Dan. We're good now. Everybody happy? Everybody good? Everybody good? I'm shuffling.
Why am I only on there once?
No, you're fine.
Hey.
What if it lands on spin?
Comments. Okay, let's go. Let's spin the wheel finally for the 8th time. Nobody wants to do that. The honor goes to
Adam.
Oh.
How about that? There we go. Amazing.
The honor goes to Black Adam.
This is going to be amazing. A mashup from Adam's choice and Brittany's choice.
It's going to be a bag of mixed nuts, if you
I'm
will.
pretty excited about the combo here. Oh boy. Adam says, oh boy.
Adam's going to choose a Christmas episode of Frasier.
No episodes.
Adam's gonna choose Disney's Nutcracker in the Four Realms.
We would like
I haven't watched that yet.
Well, what's Brittany picked?
A Medea family Christmas.
that.
Right?
Four ho ho ho's.
I'm multitasking here. Not well, by the way. It's a lot of show for one person to handle. All right. What do you want to hear Brittany's choice now? Or do you want to wait till Adam's choice?
Well, that way Adam doesn't pick her choice.
Because their tastes overlap so completely.
I literally will give you $1,000 if Adam picks Brittany's choice.
Okay.
It's not
Then let's wait.
This is just me flat out.
Okay.
$1,000. Right?
Okay.
I will
take
drive
that
to your house tonight.
Okay.
Believe it, Christmas.
Okay. All right, so just hang on then.
Right now, Adam is doing back channel collaborations with Brittany just to.
$500.
That's funny.
No Way Home is not a Christmas movie.
Maybe.
No. He's gonna pick A Christmas Wish. No, A Christmas Kiss. That's what.
The Christmas
Damn it.
shoes.
Oh gosh.
We've not announced Brittany's choice yet. We're waiting.
Oh, you missed a chance to lie to Dan.
I have so many chances to lie to Dan. That's like shooting fish in a barrel. No. Ooh. All right. Let me see if I can get these.
So I assume Brittany's choice is streaming.
Yes.
There's a movie called
That
Streaming.
is correct. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping Adam does pick hers now.
Is it on Netflix?
Huh?
I said, is it on Netflix?
No.
Disney?
Friendster?
Those.
You're not picking. So
You know her too well. You'll figure it out.
I know. Give me any hint.
All right. Well, in the meantime, while we're waiting for oh boy, there it is, and with some great language, here we go. There it is. Die Hard. Bruce Willis. And not Brittany's choice.
Oh,
Yippee-ki-yay.
Happen eventually. Wow. There it is.
It's gonna be around.
I stand by it. There we are. Die Hard, currently streaming on Stars and DirecTV.
Oh, we don't have those.
Possibly at the library.
Very possibly at any library.
Possible. Maybe not any, but some.
You're going to be able to find a copy of Die Hard.
yeah, it's probably
9/11.
88. And I can't think of anything that will pair better with Die Hard
Oh no.
than
oh boy.
Well, I was just earlier today. I was earlier today looking at a list of the worst Christmas movies of all time. This movie was on the list.
That's
Wait,
not
who's gonna pick
fair. That's not fair.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's accurate. I'm just telling you. I did see it earlier today.
Oh,
There's a
Adam.
part of me that is grateful that we're forcing Adam to watch this. I'm
This
not
is
gonna
great.
lie.
Reagan watched this a lot the
Yeah, I didn't
past
think it
couple
was
of
that
years.
bad.
So there you go. Streaming on Disney Plus. You will definitely find Noel. And there we go. Amanda says, amazing combo. Let's go. All right, poor Bill Hader. All right.
Yeah.
He looks so happy in that picture.
Oh, and Amanda has never seen Die Hard. So that's awesome.
I don't
She
think
was
I have
saying that.
either. I don't
Really?
remember.
Oh, wow. This needed to happen then. This is fantastic choices. That's awesome. I'm so excited.
Adam, Reagan said that Bill Hader is now dating Anna Kendrick. So
good for.
No, well,
Christmas miracle. Yeah,
I love it.
Oh my,
that's amazing. All
that's
right.
so funny that you were looking at that.
I get to keep my $1,000. And Stacey, sorry, thanks for playing. Let's talk. Woo!
That would have been hilarious, though.
Funniest thing ever, though, if Adam was like, "You might not think I like this movie, but let's watch Noel."
But I love Anna Kendrick.
Yeah, normally, but Anna Kendrick, her singing.
I forget what he gave Pitch Perfect. I don't think it was bad.
Yeah, it was not a good experience. Wow, and Scott just can't take it anymore. Scott just like, I'm leaving. I can't take it. Let's talk about what else you've been watching.
I think Adam's memory is failing. Didn't we already watch Jingle All the Way?
Did Jingle All the Way?
Yeah,
we did that last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, we did.
Cody did it. Reagan said.
And thank goodness, let's not.
Cody did it and hasn't been back.
All right, so hold on. Before we talk about what else you've been watching, let's talk about our scores here. So these two movies bumped Cats and Who's That Girl to the 4th page of our rating system. But so before we see exactly where this lines up, let's see where it lines up in our Christmas list of movies. So the middle column here is our list of Christmas movies. So Year Without a Santa Claus coming in with an 81.70, and Merry Christmas coming in at 76, even. Right above 8-bit Christmas. So that's our Christmas list. Year Without a Santa Claus could not best Elf. But on the big list, those movies both appear on page 2 of our list, coming in just exactly across from each other.
Right above Jaws.
Right above Jaws.
Jaws and Hoosiers. Wow.
Right in between Jaws and Superman is where you find The Year Without a Santa Claus. And Joel Noel beating out Hoosiers in Game Night, but not enough to take over Fury.
What movie was Fury? Man, I don't even remember it.
I think it was a war one, and I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't.
No, I have no memory whatsoever of it.
There's different because there is one that
was Cody's movie. It was a war history movie. Oh,
yeah.
This a little bit.
How did I miss that one?
From 2014.
I've seen it before.
Oh, Brad Pitt. Yeah.
You guys,
that's right. Okay.
You guys missed that week. You both missed that week.
I forgot how well you missed that.
You missed. Yeah, it's the Brad Pitt one with a tank.
Yeah.
That's the tagline. Brad Pitt with a tank.
You need to know.
That just rounds it out, man, right there.
You will remember Brad Pitt with a tank.
All right.
She's sick. She's a little delirious.
It happens. So anybody watch anything else this week, or were these two movies enough?
We started watching Burn Notice yesterday.
And
I forgot about that.
yeah, so the very first one kind of explains stuff, but the character development of the first one isn't the greatest.
It's very
You kind of have
slow.
to watch a few after that.
Yeah, so don't judge it by the first episode.
It gets much better.
Sharon, what's her name? Sharon Glass?
Sharon Glass.
Glass. Her hair is a wig. That changes later. Just so and Fiona's Irish accent disappears. But yeah.
Fair.
I did watch the Amazon series that it keeps trying to get me to watch. So I finally said, I'll watch the first episode or two. And actually, it was dumb but enjoyable, which is 007 Race to a Million.
I was going to start watching that.
It's a reality show, sort of like The Amazing Race meets trivia, And so it's weird. They have these teams that are racing to do these challenges that get increasingly difficult, and each time they win a little more money. And it isn't great. The 007 theme is tenuous at best. It's really has nothing to do with it, other than the fact that they try to cram the 007 theme song down your throat all the time. But Brian Cox is sort of the puppet master who's running the whole thing. Is fun. And it's enjoyable. It's if you like that kind of reality show, it's enjoyable.
That's what we were watching.
I don't really enjoy reality TV anymore. I just can't. It's all. It's all.
I never have really.
Didn't you go see the Taylor Swift concert?
Oh, I would do that in a heartbeat. But there's no compliment to that.
That was a reality movie, wasn't it?
You know. So
I watched
okay.
I just watch cheesy Christmas movies, like Hallmark, that type of stuff.
As you should.
Not ones that I would suggest as great cinema. Just cheesy, and I like cheese. So
which ones did you watch?
Which
ones didn't he watch, you mean?
I mean, yeah, I've watched a lot of them. The one that I watched just recently wasn't that good, so there's that. It was about like a snow globe or something. I don't even remember the full title. Yeah. But no, I mean, I watch the ones on Netflix. I watch, all of them. Hulu. Just the cheesy ones.
Okay.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy does have one out now.
Yes.
Candy Cane Lane. I haven't watched that one yet.
I haven't either yet.
That one yet either.
Dan's been watching The Bear on Hulu, or Hulu on The Bear, and he's also been watching The Duffer Brothers on the Masterclass. Fun entertainment. We started watching the Scott Pilgrim animated cartoon that's on Netflix. Yeah, it's the first episode follows the plot line of the movie pretty exactly, but quickly. So you're watching the first episode going like, I don't know if I need to watch this because I saw the movie and this seems to be going in the same direction. Second episode completely goes in a whole new direction. It's very interesting and very entertaining, and it's all the actors from the movie. Is reprising their role in the animated feature. So you get Chris Evans, you get Matt, Sarah, Michael Sarah. You get the whole cast. They're all there doing the voices. It's weird as all get out. So was the movie. But in the first episode, you're like, oh, I know just where this is going. I don't know if I need to watch this. And then suddenly you don't know where it's going. And we haven't finished, but I've been enjoying it quite.
Cool.
So I would recommend that. We also just watched a movie from, I think, 2001 called Bandits. Does anybody know this Bruce Willis movie?
I remember hearing about it.
I'd have to see something. I have no idea.
It's all right. It's Bruce Willis, Billy Bob Thornton, and Kate Blanchett. Yeah, I know. It sounded like
I don't know.
That's a very interesting cast. And Bruce Willis in a ponytail. I mean,
Bad Santa himself is in this.
That was it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah,
it's all right. It was all right.
The tagline is awful. The summary: 2 bank robbers fall in love with the girl they've kidnapped.
Oh yeah.
If that's the plot of the movie, whoa.
Well, it says
it's
on the cover art. It says, "Two's company, three's a crime."
Oh, that's awful.
Tagline is the worst.
More Christmas.
I'm just thinking about. He was in that one it's probably before that one. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Fifth Element. Yes,
I love Fifth Element.
Fifth Element's enjoyable.
Fifth Element.
Yeah. There's only one thing that makes the Fifth Element less than it could be, which is Chris Tucker.
Oh, I love Chris Tucker.
He is just so annoying in that movie. The rest of the movie I enjoy, but he's just so fingernails on a chalkboard in that performance.
Be that way. He's going out of his way to be that way.
I know, but it's still annoying.
Speaking of, Albert Brooks is not annoying. Adam says he watched Albert Brooks' documentary on Max. That was really good. I like Albert Brooks, actually.
I do very much, yeah. I've been tempted to put an Albert Brooks movie on the list sometime. Lost in America, maybe, or... I mean, we did watch one. We watched Defending Your Life.
We did. Yeah.
But Broadcast News or Lost in America would both be good.
Chris Tucker's annoying in everything.
Pretty much, yeah.
And, I read this too quickly wrong, and I thought Dan said that he planned to watch Adam soon, is what I heard. I first read that too quickly. I was like, that's creepy. And maybe true. Who knows?
Creepy isn't necessarily mean it's wrong.
That's true. And if it's wrong, does he really want to be right?
If it feels so right, can it really be wrong?
That is the question, isn't it? So, all right, double feature for next week. I think we're good. I think we have marching orders, Die Hard, and Noelle. I don't know which is a palate cleanser for the other.
I haven't seen Noelle, so I couldn't say. But
no, I've never seen Noelle either.
I've seen it more than once.
Oh,
I think they go together well.
I am unfairly judging a book by its cover. This made 1/4 of. I don't know what. And Dan lost his Wi-Fi on the plane, so we'll never know. 1/4 of what? Oh, 1/4 of his trip, I'm guessing.
Christmas trip.
Oh, there you go. My flight go by quickly. There we go. Most polarizing double feature? I don't know. I'm very curious. Maybe, Noelle might be the most spectacular, fantastic musical since.
At least it sounds like it's a holiday movie.
Yeah, I did. I said since Cats.
I loved when we watch partied that. That was great, though.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
We will see you all next Monday. Maybe Dan will be here. Who knows? Maybe. It's hard to say. But I'll be here, and hopefully you'll be here too. So we'll see you next week. Good night. Bye.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.